Hey, what is going on, everybody? Happy iPhone Friday to you and to yours. I've got in my hand, in my midst, the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, I had some audio problems recording the first part of this video, so here I am recording over that first part and showing you the box, of course, and the iPhone branding in the color that you purchased your iPhone. In this case, once again, Desert Titanium. On the back, you've got information on the exact model you purchased. In my case, 512 gigabytes of storage. On the top and bottom, you've got your Apple branding. Again, the color that you got it. I guess you could say this is the return of gold for the iPhone. And opening up the box, of course, using your usual pull tabs, top and bottom. Specific information on your phone is on the back, along with things like serial numbers. And opening the box and taking a look at this beauty for the first time, you see that it looks a lot like previous gold iPhones. And I've joked and quipped before that it's kind of like a beige, almost a Band-Aid color on the back with their gold. But the metal chassis is always really, really beautiful, a nice deep gold. I was generally hoping for a deeper gold, frankly. Maybe kind of like the 10S. And look, it's going to satisfy your itch for a gold iPhone if you've missed that. If I had to say, maybe the natural titanium is probably still the nicest color out there. But if you want the new exclusive color that shows you've got the latest iPhone, if you care about that stuff, then it's going to be the Desert Titanium. So this is the gold iPhone, Desert Titanium. I can't really tell. It doesn't really feel bigger, but it is bigger. 6.9-inch display versus 6.7 on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This phone comes with the A18 Bionic chip. And actually, all the iPhones this year come with that. Just taking a look around, you saw there the new all-new camera control button and your usual buttons now, the button lineup. You've got your action button, your two volume buttons, of course, as well. Power button on the side along with that camera control button. So just taking a look at what else is in the box. As mentioned, not much. You've got your USB-C cable. But the nice thing about it is that it is braided. So you can possibly see on camera, USB-C to USB-C. And then just a little booklet, I suppose. Not much that you're going to really care about. Some warranty information and just general product and trademark information. So taking a look at the phone and hoping that it boots up, and it does. And as it boots up, I'm going to go ahead and take off this Lumasi leather case off of my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I enjoyed it so much. Enjoyed that color combination of the natural titanium and that beautiful taupe leather case. Can't wait until they come out with their 16 Pro and Pro Max lineup. I think Lumasi along with Bullstrap are probably my favorite leather cases, but we'll see. I'm going to do an all-new best leather case for the iPhone video this year, and everybody's got a fair shot every year. So just taking a look side by side at the two phones, last year's Pro Max and this year's. It's ever so slightly larger. You're not really going to tell. I was able to tell off the bat that it was slightly taller. That is the 16 Pro Max. But again, you're going to be hard-pressed to see or feel or notice many differences. So I did have some issues with trying to start this thing up. And the new phone setup screen just disappeared and would not come back. And I typically have 1 or 2 bugs setting up iPhones every single year. That's every operating system, etc. So eventually I read that you got to restart both phones to get that prompt to start again. So I did that, setting up the action button. Now that you have a dedicated camera button, no need to use that action button to launch the camera. So went ahead and picked the silent mode and then the camera control. Of course, just showing you directions of how you can click to launch the camera. The emergency SOS, which was a feature that was previously introduced on the iPhone. All right, I finally got my information transferred here, and we are up and in our iPhone 16 Pro Max. apps are downloading. Meanwhile, let's take a quick camera tour here. I'll set up these photographic styles later. I kind of want to mess with this camera button. Let's see what's going on here. Let me tap that. There we go. Awesome. So you see how quickly the camera pops up as soon as I press that camera button. So I click and hold. I can change the amount of zoom. I don't know how much I will use that, to be honest, but here we'll do it here. Take a picture of this case, zoom in, I'll zoom back out, and then snap and take the photo. And here's how the photo turned out. So we'll see how much people use that. For me, it feels a little bit like the touch bar. I don't know. We'll see how long that lasts. Hard to complain about having a camera button. But it's interesting how certain rumors come out annually about the iPhone. And I don't know if it's to sell stock or what, but you had all the rumors about a buttonless iPhone for 2 years now. And what happened since then? 2 new buttons were added. So maybe it's misdirection. Maybe it's just a way to get your new features and technologies out there without tipping your hand. But other than that, I don't really notice much of a difference. Smooth, snappy. I do notice this thinner bezel. I will say that for sure. If you go side by side with last year's iPhone 15 Pro Max, it's a little bit hard to tell here. Maybe I will try to show them side by side here. You can see that the phone on the right, the 16 Pro Max, does have a little bit of a thinner bezel than the one on the left. So that is noticeable. You can tell on all sides here, the sides, the top, everything. I was considering getting that new Apple Watch Series 10 titanium gold to match with this desert titanium, but that gold link bracelet is still not available. So saves me some money. Let's take a look at the titanium chassis here, because it does look slightly different. I don't want to say that it's more, I don't know, it's not more reflective. I don't know if polish is even the right word, but you kind of can see sort of the individual lines of the processed titanium in last year's model. And I don't know, it's difficult really maybe to see on camera, but it looks a lot more uniform on this year's model, on the 16 Pro Max. So it may give it the illusion that it's less brushed, maybe slightly more reflective, but it's nowhere near as reflective as the stainless steel iPhone Pro Series phones, which I kind of liked, to be honest, as far as how the finish looked, but could do without the weight of stainless steel, that's for sure. So yeah, certainly the finish on the metal chassis does look different, and I think they mentioned that in their keynote. So let's take a look at some cases now. I've got this Apple Silicone case in Plum. It looks a little bit more purple than I was hoping for. I guess plums are mostly purple, so I should have known. But the display image online to me looked like a little bit more like a burgundy, which I thought would pair great with the gold. It's still going to look really good with it. But I also have from Torras their clear case, which is quite popular, a reasonable price, awesome MagSafe magnets, good protection, nice and clear, show off that desert titanium. Probably going to end up using this one to start off. But let's take a look at both of them. I'll start with the Apple Silicone case here, and on the back, bunch of verbiage here in different languages. On the front, of course, the picture of the color case you got. Of course, no fine woven cases this year. I think Apple realizes that people who want a premium case are mostly going to get leather cases. And of course, there's even levels of those. Apple's leather cases were not great the past several years that they had them. But there are, again, some brands out there with some awesome really premium full grain leather. So pull this and pull this up, and we have our Plum silicone iPhone 16 Pro Max case. I think black will also look really good with this. The case does come in a black color. Let's take this out and put it on, and you hear that sound. Typically there's an animation as well, but it went into edit wallpaper mode. But when you put on these Apple cases, of course, you hear that sound and you get the animation. Let's take a look at the bottom here. The cutouts, they're perfect for your speaker grill, for your USB-C port. Of course, one of the problems with these cases that are closed from the bottom is that they're not always compatible with the gamut of USB-C cables. And accessories, we had that problem with the fine woven last year. I personally prefer more of an open bottom with just coverage on the sides because I also like to show off the color of the iPhone that I got, that beautiful metal chassis. But here's how it looks from the back, which is how most people are going to see this one. The Plum case and the Desert Titanium iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's nice. Buttons are clicky. The camera button is clicky. The power button is nice as well. And the volume buttons, very nice and clicky. Action button, no problems at all with this case. You can see how this fits. There is a little bit of a raised lip, so you can put this down face down, not worry at all. And as I'm sure most of you know by now, these silicone cases are probably the stickiest ones. So if you don't like slippery cases, this is definitely an option. Although it could be a little bit annoying to take in and out of your jean pocket because it does, again, tend to stick a little bit. But this is how the Plum case looks on the Desert Titanium. So let's check out the Torras clear case now, which again, I think will be the one that I probably use the most, especially initially. And of course, I will leave links to these in the description. Here's how the Torras case looks. It's a hard back, very nice. Again, the magnets are excellent on this. And this here came with, I can't remember if it did last year too, just some buttons you can put on to the case in case you wanted those buttons to stick out a little bit more, since they're mostly the same color as the phone. You can choose to have orange or white buttons. Don't think I'll use these, but that is a nice touch from Torras. Slip off this silicone case here. And we've got our phone into this Torras case. Looks good. It has a cutout for that camera button. Works just fine. Volume buttons, nice and clicky. Action button, awesome as well. Power button is just fine. Let's take a look at the cutouts here. Here's how the case, first of all, looks from the back with your Desert Titanium 16 Pro Max. Again, Torras branding here on the side. Here's how it looks from this side. The top, the bottom, the cutouts are just perfect. Of course, you got your speaker grill and your USB-C cutout. It's going to take some time for some of the leather case manufacturers to test out their cutout for the camera control button. Typically, the better case manufacturers do wait until the phone is officially out so they can test those. So it's going to be a little bit until I get my hands on one of my favorite leather cases. There is a plastic wrap here on the back of this case that I will peel. And now you get a better look at how this phone looks in this case. All right, so that's about it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. Again, links in the description where you can pick up these cases. As I say, pretty much every video, more mobile tech coverage on the way. It is tech season after all. So hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified when those videos drop. And like this video if you liked this video. Catch you in the next one.